So had to come to this mall in Bahrain. It's the Hilton up there. This part has natural light. It's a heavy spray day. Giant dispersal lines. Um, I was just thinking about malls because it's like I know mall culture is big around the world now. And I remember it starting when I was a kid, kind of middle school, high school. It was a push to get people to go to malls a lot. This was the time when Walmarts were taken over, and big box stores, and the elimination of small town shopping districts, and specialists within communities. And it's like I'm not opposed to malls in and of themselves. It's like it's basically just a modern souk, and we've been having souks and agoras since the ancient Greco-Roman days, and the golden ages of Islam in Al-Andalus and Baghdad and all over the place. Chandni Chowk in Old Delhi. But here, just check this out. The thing is, if you come to malls for socializing, for shopping, for dining, for entertainment, for walking, you know what I mean? Because it's like, the thing is, malls are very popular in places like, say, Southeast Asia, where you are constantly, it's like where the weather is super hot and humid parts of the year. Same thing here in the Gulf. So I understand that there's a big draw to come into a mall where you've got AC, it's cool, during monsoon season. In other parts of the world, like, you've got, it's dry inside. But here's the thing. First off, the place is full on track and trace. It's like heavily surveilled. The whole place, they're cleaned with very toxic chemicals. Like, I was just walking through, I could smell them, and it just made me think, it's like, how many toxic chemicals are people absorbing in through their mucous membranes, through their nose, through their mouth, as they are wandering the mall. Just like they come spend 2-3 hours or more at a time, and they're bringing little ones, they're little children. Now, it's very there are very few people here today because it's Ramadan, and it's still a few hours. It's like about 3 hours before fast breaking time, iftar. So and they have the dining areas closed. So it's like it's very, very sparse today, the number of people here. But you just imagine, it's like, so when you come in, it's like you're breathing in and absorbing toxic chemicals. A lot of the food, not all, but a lot of the food is very unhealthy, low quality, fast food type. And then it's like, and then you go to certain malls in places like, say, Turkey, which have much more limited food courts. I mean, the food courts in the Gulf are much better, like in Southeast Asia. Much bigger variety of foods. And you can find some healthier options. I wouldn't call them healthy necessarily, but certainly healthier than what you'd find in Turkey. And in Turkey, what was interesting is so many of the malls, you'd also have to go through the machines where like the X-ray machines, to check your bags, to check your persons, and you have to do that. And some people, and you have to do that constantly in places like Turkey. And I was just thinking about, what is the cumulative toll of such a place on our bodies as we, this is a more of an organic shop here, the marketplace. I went in there earlier. It's got some cool stuff. So anyway, when you have to go through those scanners constantly as a traveler, like at the airports, and then depending on the country's security situation, at train stations, big bus stations, like in Turkey, at the major bus stations, you have to go through the security as well. And that's going through your bag. So it's like, how does that impact your supplements if you've got snacks for the road? And, it's like, I see people put their water through all the time. It's like, that's crazy. So you want to protect your phone and slide it out on the outside so it doesn't have to go through, but you're going to drink water that went through there. So it's like, and the same thing. It's like when you go to the airport, every single item is not only, massive price increases, exorbitant price increases, but also all of it is degraded nutrient wise and energetically by going through all of the security scans. And if you're in a country that imports a significant amount of its foods and medicines, then again, you're like, how many different scans does everything go through? And right now, there's this big push to with the Internet of Bodies and Internet of Things, and it's like to subject human and all organisms to strong EMF, strong electromagnetic frequencies at all times, from above, from all angles. And what is the what are the actual ramifications of this on our biological organisms, on our physical and our emotional well-being, on our cognitive well-being as well? Because you got to consider that anything that impacts our body is going to ultimately impact our mind and our cognition. When we're in pain and dis-ease and discomfort, then we tend to not be in optimal emotional states and have a balanced behavior or reaction to the various stimuli and stresses that we face. And the same thing intellectually, are we going to be able to reason and use our logical apparatus as well when we're bombarded with a variety of waves and poisons? So here, the other thing is, it's all LED lights now. So we're subjected to LEDs, to camera surveillance. Who knows what other type of sensors are placed in here at all times that are, somehow sensing SIM cards. Like when you can utilize the Wi-Fi, to sign in with some Wi-Fi at a mall or in an airport, what are we giving access to and to whom? It's like to strange third parties that you got to do some serious research to figure out who and what they're doing. So anyway, just it's interesting, and I see a lot in common between malls and airports nowadays. Increasingly, there's a lot of similarity. It's a very similar type of experience. The lighting, the recycled air, the cleaning chemicals, the scanning and tracking and tracing, the constant surveillance, observation, and then the sale of data and the use of data for who knows what. And we're in malls, there are places that we bring our youth to, that our elders go to. And what is the real world health impact of such a place over the long term? Whereas I know a lot of old people, they go to malls almost every day to get their walking in, because it's level, it's flat, it's clean. And the thing is, those cleaning chemicals I was mentioning, it gives the illusion of hygiene, but it's also creating a very like hygienic doesn't mean that it's not toxic. Like a lot of the cleaning chemicals there, it's not like people are using the cleanest or the least toxic options for cleaning. So just consider the next time that you're at a mall or an airport, the constant surveillance, the constant scanning, the toxic cleaning chemicals, the LEDs, the recycled air, among other things. And then the low quality food and drink that's often some artificial refined sugar garbage, and it's all GMO, a lot of it, and using really unhealthy oils for the cooking on top of it. So it's not that you can't find healthy things, and I'm not saying that malls are problematic in and of themselves, but there is something to consider. And it's probably also, most of these are going to be multinationals and not local companies, and so the money isn't necessarily going to stay in our communities. So I think that ultimately shopping and eating as locally and regionally as possible is best. And we want to go places that have natural lighting, that have we want quality in all things. So anyway, I'll go ahead and sign off, but just a little quick contemplation on malls, and also the fact that they push this consumerist culture And like we could have other models that are healthy and that are beneficial for families, for societies, so we don't completely ditch, because the mall itself is modeled on the souk, on the agora. And so there are lots of good ideas. It's just, how do we do healthier versions that are beneficial for ourselves individually, as families, and as communities? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Peace.